You are tuned in to the first episode of Hello Earthlings. And, right? I thought long and hard about that. That meant something, right? And this guy, the first person, it's fitting that I have this person on as the first guest because this guy was my first comedy writing partner ever.
I think we have a lot of firsts together.
Yeah, we do. All of them are PG too, like nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Chris Kidder, everyone. Chris Kidder. Yay.
We're clapping.
Yay. I'm looking around like we have guests, but we don't.
You should add guest clapping in the background.
We should. We should pipe that sound in.
Yeah.
Chris Kidder.
Yay. This would be like, Janet Roth, the comedian. Have you seen her special they recorded during COVID? She recorded it at the Laugh Factory, and there was no one in the Laugh Factory.
Yeah. How can
and they had like 3 or 4 camera angles. And the guy, he's a comedian who recorded it. I think he was getting paid. It's something Tran. I forget his last name or his first name. Anyways, very funny dude from Buffalo, New York as well. You see his head floating around in one of the cameras because they asked him to do that so it would look like people were in the audience. But she did. So she has an earpiece in. She's getting piped. Like they are piping jokes to her. And then they're putting in a laugh track. And the laugh track is whoever did the laugh track, genius. Because there's parts where she pauses. There's no punchline at all. And then people would start clapping. I'm like, this makes no sense. It makes no sense. And on top of that, you had someone like Anthony Jeselnik, who has a huge podcast and huge following, basically went on and trolled his own audience and said, this is the best special ever. Like second to like Robin Williams and Eddie Murphy. Like,
no way.
Like basically lifted her up. And then if you go on Amazon to watch it, Amazon Prime to watch it, the reviews are horrendous. Like they're basically saying like, fuck you, Anthony Jeselnik.
Yeah.
Fuck you for sending me here. It's great. Oh, is this PG? No, can I swear?
No, it's very not PG.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but it's hilarious at how much people, you could tell the people who came there because of Anthony Jeselnik, and then they're just like, fuck you, Anthony.
I'm kind of upset with that guy.
Yeah.
Jeselnik.
Why?
Because, like...
Too dark for you?
Not too dark, but, I mean, you can still evolve, although your comedy is dark.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You can still evolve.
You don't think he's evolved at all?
No,
he took the Greg Dean method and just ran with it, and like every single joke is set up punch.
Yeah, I mean, technically, he's a savvy comedian. I mean, he's still a good comic. It's just like, okay, I'm waiting for that next special and like to involve some of these jokes. Just some of them.
I can watch Anthony Jeselnik in like 8 to 10 minute increments at most.
Yeah.
Because it's now, once you know his formula, you're like, okay, this whole setup's bullshit. So what's the punch? What's the punch? So my brain starts going into the mystery. I want to solve the joke before you get to the punchline, right? When he says a joke and he takes you down this road of, I love kids, and then and then his punchline is I fuck kids.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like, and I know that's not your joke, Anthony. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying, like, you take it here, and then you hit us with the left field. Like my brain starts going to the, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna say? And I'm trying to figure it out beforehand.
Yeah.
And after like 8 minutes, I'm exhausted. I'm like, ugh, like I can't listen to this anymore. It's just I don't like. To me, it's very one-liner comedy. I want to, and at the end of the day, we know nothing of Anthony Jeselnik.
No,
we don't know about his childhood. We don't know what type of person he is, other than he likes dark humor.
Right.
But we know nothing. I like people like Bert Kreischer, people who tell stories. My comedy is very story driven. It's about my life. If you watched my stand up, you'd be like, "Oh, he's married to a Filipino woman. Yeah. He's got 2 kids. His kids are funny. His kids are this. His kids are that. Chris does this with his family.
Right.
Chris has gone on this trip to here, and it isn't. it isn't all line for line, just like this is my life, anecdotal, like, but it is taking stuff from my life and finding the humor in it and making it bigger than life and making the room laugh, because that's the job at the end of the day. So he's doing the job. He's making, I mean, dude, and again, I can't knock him. That dude's probably a millionaire. He's done huge arenas and shit like that. Good for him. But it's just, for me personally, like, I want to know, if you're a comedian, I want to know at the end of the day, like, who you are as a person. And I want to laugh. I want to laugh about what your perspective is on life and what your stories are.
I think that's what sets him back.
Yeah.
Because he's not personable. He's funny.
Very funny. I won't take that away from him.
You know what I mean? I think he's a better roaster. I think he's great as a roaster.
Yeah.
But like like you do get older as a person, and like almost like Daniel Tosh. Mm-hmm. Like his comedy has evolved. I mean, he's a married man. He has kids now. I think his podcast is hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Especially like when he interviews his wife, even when he interviews another comic, it's pretty good. And I felt that he was maybe along those lines of a Jesselneck earlier in his,
very
with
dark,
the shock value, dark,
and then
But his darkness has evolved to include fatherhood, include being a husband.
Still dark.
It's still dark.
But you're learning about where he is in his life and how it's affecting his comedy and his joke writing.
Yeah.
It influences his joke writing.
Yeah. So now it brings me to my first question of you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we lead into
now we start the podcast.
Right? Because I've started comedy with you. Yeah. Right? Around the same time. You maybe started a little earlier, but you have evolved. What has maybe pushed your evolution along further, though? Is it really drawing on your life skills or things that happened to you in your life? Or has it always been the fever of writing? Always, because you constantly write, a great writer, and you're constantly writing. What has made your comedy evolved?
That's a great question. Honestly, dude, like, I think it's just constantly trying new stuff, right? Okay. So first off, I'm very physical when I get on stage, and I have become more and more physical and gotten really comfortable with physical comedy. Like, I love, like Steve Martin and how physical he is on stage. Yeah. You look back at someone like Dick Van Dyke, and how physical he was. Charlie Chaplin, very, very physical on stage. I love that.
Okay. Yeah.
The fact that you could turn the sound off and like watch these guys, and you're going to start laughing at their physical humor.
Yeah.
I've always loved that. If you watch me on camera, you see I move a lot. I move a lot. And I think getting more and more comfortable on stage and playing out the movement has definitely affected my storytelling and my joke telling. And then also my joke writing. So I have in my phone, I think 438 comedy prompts that I've written over the last few years.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I keep notes. Some people write on a pad of paper. I'll lose a pad of paper, so I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna lose my phone. So, and if I do, it's on the cloud, so I'll be able to get it. Right. So technology. I have my prompts in there, and then I definitely go back and have writing sessions with Miguel Rojas, Dan Green, other people I've sat down with. I have another friend of mine from Toastmasters who likes to come out to my comedy shows, and he's been helping me write some jokes. So we'll go through those prompts. So I'm always writing.
Yeah.
And then with the writing and trying new stuff physically, and then when people give me notes, I actually try them. So I had a show this last week, and a buddy of mine goes, "Hey, man, I have this great joke about your wife being Filipino. My wife and I have been together almost 25 years.
Shout out
to Yvonne.
Shout out to Yvonne. That's what's up.
She's my bitch.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So he was just like, hey, he goes, try this joke. And I tried it and it landed. And I basically, without getting into it too much, but I was basically like, my wife and I have been together 24 amazing years. The whole room's behind me. They're clapping and everything. I was like, yeah, this next year will be our 25th anniversary. So for her anniversary, I promised her to bring her to the United States. and it landed. Like, it's stupid, dude. It's so stupid. But my buddy, like, told me the joke literally a half an hour earlier. He's like, try this. And so I got up and I tried it and it landed and it was great.
Yeah.
And so, and then people realize very quickly when I start getting into my stories, and like, that's bullshit. Like, I don't have a wife in the Philippines. You're right. It's stupid. It's idiotic, but it landed. The point is I take notes and I will try them. I think that's like part of comedy. I've been doing this for 7 years now. A big part is risk taking. You have to just try shit. Mm-hmm. You can't be afraid that a joke's not going to land and people aren't going to laugh. That's part of stand-up. You're going to have bad shows. You're going to have great shows.
That's right.
The evolution happens at failing and trying again. Failing, trying again. Oh, this joke sucks. Well, let's go back to the writing board. Let's put it up on a dry erase board. In my studio, I have a big dry erase board. We write shit out. We write it out. Yep. We take photos of it. Then we erase it. We try it. We come back. That really didn't work. Maybe if we move, as we call it, the Rubik's Cube, like keep spinning it until it works. It's, it's constant. So I think that evolution just comes with risk taking. It's getting comfortable in your skin on stage. Not everyone's physical like me, but getting comfortable on stage is a big part of it. And then also just life changes. Something happened this week. I did a show going back off camera, we were talking about the whole Charlie Kirk thing. And not to get political. I'm not a political comedian at all, and I generally don't go there. But I did a show in the fall, and it was literally 4 or 5 days after Charlie Kirk got shot, and so I got up on stage, and I was just like, "All right, I'm just going to put this out there, put it in the air. What happened, to Charlie? It's horrible, it's devastating." And I was like, don't get mad at me. Like, I was really into the guy, especially like this guy. Like, I loved his clothes. I loved the way he carried himself. Like, this guy, he was well spoken. Yeah, all this stuff, and I was like, but he can't kick a damn football. And I was talking. So I got into the. So when I got into the weeds of the joke, I was talking about Charlie Brown. Right, and then people realized I'm talking about Charlie Brown, and then they started laughing, and they realized that, okay, this guy, but half the room was like, what the hell is he talking about? Because half the room was like 20, 21-year-old kids who probably never even heard of Charlie Brown, and they definitely never watched Charlie Brown growing up, so they're like, I don't get it. Okay. So I realized, like, maybe that's not a good joke to tell, and also, it was just me risk taking. It was something that just happened. But I don't do political humor, and I don't want to divide the room. People that do that, it's very ballsy, or or they've spent years getting a liberal crowd or a conservative crowd, and that's what they cater to. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm on the belief that, like, you come to my show to escape all that bullshit. Yeah. I want you to come and laugh and relax and forget about politics. Forget about, your mom yelling at you. Right. Forget about your wife cheating on you. Forget about all that. Come to the show, laugh, and have a good time. I'm not trying to get into religion and politics and all that shit that's really dividing our world right now.
Okay, so you say you don't want to get into that, but do you get into what it does to the people that you deal with on a day-to-day basis? Is it safe to joke about that?
I think it's safe.
The effects of.
I think it's safe. I haven't really got into it.
Yeah.
But I had this conversation with my wife recently about political comedians, and I would go down that road, but it would be from a center perspective of how right and left people are acting basically like sheep, and they're just ridiculous. Yeah. I think it is. I think a lot of people are sheep. I think a lot of people, get into propaganda and and a lot of people are just misled, and they don't, and people are lazy. People are getting their politics and their sound bites at 10 to 15 seconds,
right,
those segments, and then they use that as gospel.
Now, are you allowed to joke about that? Are you allowed to take that on stage?
Yes, I would. I don't right now.
Okay.
Because I am working on building a special, my first special, and my first special will be all about my family. It'll be about being in a biracial relationship and all the comparisons of white people and Filipino people and that culture clash. So there's no room for politics and all that shit.
Okay.
Now I might go down the road of comparing her very Catholic family to my very Southern Baptist family.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then again, I'm just talking about my perspective.
Your personal perspective. And how it personally affects you.
Yes.
You and your household.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I talked about this actually this last week on stage about like my wife. Like the worst place, like if you could get a medal for the worst place to meet your future mother-in-law, like I would take the gold medal because I met my mother-in-law at her husband's funeral, right? It was like, it was basically like, hi, Mom, this is Chris. And I was like, hi, Mrs. Amansek, sorry for your loss. Like, come on, dude. Because I met her at the funeral. I met my mother-in-law now. My mother-in-law.
Was that technically a first date, or was that a date?
Kind of.
I mean,
it wasn't a first date. We were dating for about 3 months when her father passed.
Okay.
I don't know why I laughed when I said her father passed, but she was like, this is going to be a hard time for me. My father passed. She's like, if you want to leave the relationship,
right?
Because we're still new. She's like, I won't hold that against you. Maybe we can get back together in the future. I'm going through a lot right now. I'm giving you an out because I just don't know how I'm going to be.
That is so dope.
And it was very adult of her.
Yeah, it was very adult of her. But she's unusual.
And yes, she's very unusual like that. And honestly, like, I was head over heels for this woman. It was the first woman I dated who wasn't a white crazy bitch.
Okay.
And I was like, I thought I bagged a Latina in the nightclub. She ended up being Filipina. I thought I was gonna get a girl who made me tamales. She makes me lumpia.
Okay.
Right. It's stupid, dude. It's absolutely stupid. But I was head over heels for her, so I was like, no, I ain't going anywhere. Okay. And then I asked her if she wanted me to go with her to the funeral, like to support her, and she said, yeah. I didn't know she was gonna introduce me to Mom.
I mean, well,
I still remember we were like on the church
when
on the
she
steps.
Invited you to the funeral. Was you thinking it was someone else's? It was for her dad, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean like I could have been in the back pew. Yeah. I could have been in the background. Her mom didn't even need to know that Yvonne had a boyfriend there.
You mean Yvonne could have passed you off as the janitor?
And by the way, my mother-in-law was so racist. I think she still is. She hated me for years.
Yeah.
Like 3 years, she said 3 words: hi, bye, and thanks. And the thanks was because, like, Yvonne would be like, hey, can you go get this? She wants to know if you can go get this out of her car.
Yeah.
She wouldn't even be like, hey, Chris, can you go get the sodas out of the car?
Is that how your mother-in-law sounds?
Pretty much.
Oh, okay. That's good. Yeah. That's a good impression.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, she couldn't even ask me. Like, my wife would ask me, she was my girlfriend at the time, but she would ask me, and I'd do it. And then I'd walk by, and she'd be like, thanks.
Maybe it was a test. Maybe you said, well, if the motherfucker won't do it for...
Well, I fucking passed years of doing that
girl, shit. Definitely won't do it for me. Yeah, you passed some type of test. Yeah. So you're... Let me set this question up. You're 16, 17, and in Buffalo. Did you know what you wanted to do then?
Besides jerking off.
And trying to bang the girl in your class. Did you know what you wanted to do? Did you know you wanted to be a comic? Did you know?
Oh, hell no, dude.
Did you know you wanted to be a grip? Did you know you wanted to be in real estate sales? Did you know you wanted to be? What did you want to do?
I would say around 16 years old, I had always been an artist growing up. My grandma would sit me down in Texas. This was in Houston. my meemaw.
Mm-hmm.
She would sit me down in front of the TV because again, I told you I didn't know my real dad, and so my mom was dating and then married my dad now,
Okay.
who adopted me. But my mom was always working and everything, so my meemaw and my papa they watched me a lot. So one of the things I remember, a very vivid memory as a kid, was sitting down in front of the TV watching Bob Ross. And painting along with Bob Ross, making happy little mistakes.
Shout out to the ghost of Bob Ross.
The ghost of Bob Ross.
Shout out.
By the way, dude, I saw this. A side note: I saw this video yesterday. AI is amazing. AI is like destroying us, but also it's amazing. So I saw this video yesterday. And it's Bob Ross, and he's got a bottle of whiskey, and you see the canvas behind him, and he just walks up. He say, "You know what I'm painting tonight? Your mom, bitch!" And he starts laughing, and he falls backwards and drops the bottle. And so, anyway, shout out to Bob.
Shout out to all AI. You know what? When they do the gorilla and the they be doing all those AI kind of clips and reels, and that shit is fucking hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I
like.
love it.
That's the thing with AI, because I do feel it's going to kill us.
Oh, it will. We're definitely going to die to electronics for sure.
Yeah, right. I can see that. Like all those Hollywood movies, like iRobot, fucking Terminator, all that shit.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's
right?
100% going to happen.
But at least it made us laugh.
Yes.
At least it made us laugh, right?
That's while it's making us laugh, they're all over here.
Yeah,
figuring shit out, figuring out the AI revolution.
Yeah.
That's why when I'm on like ChatGPT, I'm like, hey, can you give me a list of the top 10 comedy festivals this year? Thanks.
Yeah.
And I say, please.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Like, I literally type please with a question mark.
You do?
You don't have to punctuate and you don't have to say please, but I do. I think it's just courteous. Maybe, I'm going to be on that list to be taken out, but I'd rather be at the bottom of the list,
Yeah.
I don't need to be at the top.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, like she sat me down. The art was instilled into me at a young age. At 16, I wanted to get into architecture.
Okay.
So that was the thing. So I was taking all the AutoCAD classes, drafting classes, stuff like that, and it was really cool. It was really cool until I found out that they made about $40,000 a year, and I was like, no, not cool.
Right. Okay.
So all this, because it's a lot of work. And
it's a lot of work.
I don't want to do that and make no money. And I think that was the beginning of the end for me for a career. Like I've always been a Rolling Stone. I started getting in high school. I started performing. I got on stage a lot, and I got bit by the performance bug.
Okay.
And so I thought acting would be really cool. And living in Buffalo for years in the cold.
Yeah. Which is a hotbed for actors in comics. By the way.
But I started seeing. The 1999, I had my first computer. I started comparing the weather.
Okay.
I go online and look it up and see the weather in Hollywood, and I picked Hollywood because of acting and stuff. And I was like, well, it'd be kind of cool to go there and try to get on the movies, on TV, and all that, the big screen. So I started comparing for 3 months. I compared the weather in the winter of Hollywood, California to Buffalo, and it would be 17 degrees in Buffalo. It'd be 68 degrees in Hollywood. Yeah. And every day it was like that, right? It'd be 4 degrees in Buffalo, and it'd be 72 in Hollywood. And after 3 months, I was like, this is stupid. I need to leave. And I didn't have a game plan on how to leave.
Okay.
So I had a few things happen, but I ended up working different jobs and everything. But when I was 21, I had just turned 21. I was maybe 3 weeks. It was in February, and I basically made the decision. I was like, I'm getting out of here. I'm leaving.
You had to tell yourself though. You had to make the declaration.
I said, I'm going to Hollywood.
Did you tell someone else to hold you accountable, or were you enough?
No, I started telling friends. I told my family. My friends said, "You're fucking crazy."
Yeah.
And my parents said, "The fuck you are." And my girlfriend said, we're done.
Okay.
And so I ended up, my car broke down permanently. I had this old beater rusted car, and I was going to attempt to drive that 2,800 miles across the country.
Oh, really?
I was going to try.
So you
God went, seized the engine and said, no, you're not, because you'll die if you try to drive this thing. The car died completely.
Okay.
So I went through a little bout of depression about, fuck, I'm never going to get out of here.
Okay.
And then shortly after that, a few weeks later, my mom said, well, Chris, I know you talked about going to Hollywood. You obviously don't want to be here. She's like, listen, my mom's from Houston. So she goes, this summer I'm going to go to Houston for like a month, visit my sisters and my brother, family. Do you want to ride with? She's like, that's not Hollywood, but it's not Buffalo, and maybe it's part of the way. So I said yes. So that summer, it was May of 2000. We went to Houston, Texas, and I was down there all summer. I had a job, then lost a job, partied all summer. I was 21, so I was partying all summer with my cousins, and my best friend Charlie lived in Houston at the time, and had such a fun summer. It was probably still one of the best summers I ever had.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the summer, it was August. My best friend Charlie, his mom, who's the second mom to me, her name's Kathy, and I've always called her mom. She goes, Chris, why the fuck are you still here? And I was like, what? And she was like, I thought you wanted to go to Hollywood. And I said, I do. And she goes, well, how much money do you have? And I go, I have on me? Or she goes, no, just how much money do you have? And I go, about $400. She goes, here's a one-way ticket on a Greyhound bus to Hollywood. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, someone loved you.
And so I took it. And it was literally a few days later. I got on the Greyhound bus.
Uh-huh.
Ended up in downtown L.A. on Skid Row, which is where the Metro was at the time. It's not open anymore, and Skid Row has definitely moved to a few blocks away. But where it was, I got off the bus at 11 p.m. at night and walked.
Scared? Was you scared?
Yes, walked out onto the street. It was dark, and it was Skid Row. And it was, I tucked my chain in.
Uh-huh.
I took my watch off and put it in my pocket, and I was just like, what the fuck? And I just started walking. And I figured it out.
Okay.
It's a long story, but I figured out how to get here, and I figured out how to survive here. Now,
wow,
the film industry and all that wasn't on my, it was there, but it obviously went to the back because right now I just have to survive. The comedy didn't come till years later, dude, because I was terrified of this. I was terrified of public speaking. I was terrified of getting up in front of people and speaking, even though I did theater in high school.
Okay.
I don't know what happened in my 20s, but something happened where when I had to get up when I was about 25, I had to get up in front of family's members and speak. And,
wow. Yeah.
And I was shaking horribly. And so...
so you said you wanted to go to Hollywood, but you didn't want to get in front of the camera. You just wanted to be there for the energy.
The idea was there, and I wanted to.
The idea was there. Yeah.
But when it came to having to be in front of people, I just froze up.
Yeah.
So during the recession in 2008, I decided to go back to school, and my cousin who went to Wharton, he was like, dude, you're going to go to business school? And I go, yeah. And he goes, just so you know, business school is nothing but public speaking. And I go, what? And he goes, every class you're going to have to present. Mm-hmm. It's a big part of business schools. And so my heart sank, and I was like, oh, shit, I don't know if I can do this. And he goes, go join Toastmasters. And so I joined Toastmasters, and I've been doing Toastmasters for...
2008?
Yeah, so is that
Okay, so now,
17
what
years?
did you do in between that time of deciding, I think I want to get a business degree, and the time you arrived in Hollywood? What was that time like?
So when I first arrived in Hollywood, it was 2000. So you're talking about from then till
for
2008?
Like 8 years. Yeah.
So I did different things. I had different jobs. I worked at a hostel for 2 years when I first came to. That's how I survived. I met this guy from Chile.
Okay.
And he said he was going to go stay in a hostel, and I had no idea where I was going to go. And him and I kind of hit it off. And he goes, "Why don't you come with me to this hostel in Hollywood?" He's like, "They don't let Americans stay there, but I'll tell them we're travel companions." And so I said, "Okay, we'll try."
Did you have to hold his hand?
No. Oh, that would have been funny. That would have been funny. No. But basically, he basically told them, like, he's my American companion who's been showing me around the U.S. And we travel together.
Yeah.
And so when he vouched for me, they let me in. And then when I was there, like, remember, I only had $400 when I came to L.A.
Yeah.
And that $400 disappeared very quickly in the first week. And so I think on day 3 of staying at the hostel, I found out who the owner was. It was this Greek guy named Dimitri, and I was going around. I was following him around. Dimitri, Dimitri, can I work here? Can I? Because I found out that he would let international people. They were free labor. He would let, like, if you're from Germany, he would let you work for 3 hours a day, work the front desk or clean the bedrooms or whatever. If you work 3 hours a day, you get a bed for free.
Oh, for real?
So I started. He's like, I don't employ Americans. I don't employ Americans. He just had like this thick accent and stuff, and he would tell me to fuck off. And then, I mean, I literally bugged him for like 4 days straight. And every time, like, he would always come and go. He would leave, and then he would come back. He had other properties and stuff. Anytime I'd see him walk to the front door, I'd go over, hey, Dimitri, hey, how you doing today?
Yeah.
He'd go, ugh. And I was like, dude, like, I just need to work, dude. I don't have any money, and I need a place to stay. Like, I'm a hard worker.
That doesn't sound very privileged, Chris. No. It doesn't sound like you had...
Who said I was privileged?
Any parts of privilege.
No.
In that story at all.
Yeah, no. So this guy fucking hated me. And so, but I worked for him for 2 years and 2 months. And there were several times he tried firing me and kicking me out. I was like, bro, I'm American. Like, I'm
2
a citizen.
2 years and 2 months.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I had it down, dude. I was like, I'm an American citizen. You can't do that. I have established residency here. Right. If you want to get rid of me, you got to pay $5,000 and evict me. Like, that's why he didn't hire Americans, because he knew, like, I would come in and hit him with the I got rights.
Yeah.
And I had to a few times to defend myself, because he was very much into kicking people out and moving people and stuff. And anytime he tried to F with me, I pushed back really hard, and then he would just roll his eyes and be like, all right, whatever. And he would walk and he would leave me alone. But so I did that. I was in the military. I was in the National Guard. Okay. And during 9/11 happened that year after, I was in L.A. and I got activated. So I was on active duty for a year, but I was local active duty, so I stayed in L.A.
Oh,
and
okay.
You know, that was a horrible time. But for me, like, financially, it helped me get out of the hostel. It helped me financially, because now I had actual real money coming in.
Okay.
So I did that. I tried going to, I went to LA's community college, city college, whatever it is. Took film classes. At a certain point, Yvonne and I started dating in 2002, or at the end of 2001. And
wow.
I want to say it was 2003, I started going to LACC for the film classes.
Okay.
And then I told her, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get in the film industry. And she's like, you are? I was like, yeah, I'm going to work for free. I'm going to go find something. Work with someone at least a month for free.
Right.
And just show them how hard I work, and then try to meet as many people as I can and try to get work. And it worked. So I worked on a movie for free for 5 weeks.
Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something, like, especially from my community, that we don't place value in, and that's working for
What's
free.
What's your community?
The African American, the black community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't think we find value in working for free. We always have to place, well, what do I get out of it, in front of what can I do to be of service so I can receive a lesson out of this?
Sure.
Right? And I find it so important that there was that's the second time I heard it within the story, that you were willing to work for free to get this done, right?
Yeah.
And like, you believed in yourself that much to do it, because you are the value.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not what you can get out of working for free.
Yeah.
But
you got to know your
speak
worth.
to that?
Yeah, you got to know your worth.
Yeah.
And when you approach someone like that, you have to sell yourself and be like, this is my worth.
Yeah.
Not only am I willing to work for free, I'm going to work harder for you than anyone else on your staff that you're paying. And then you, in return, are going to see what type of value I bring. And then I'm undeniably going to get hired.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's so you don't do it just haphazardly, like I'm just gonna work for free.
No, there's a strategy to it
because I want to give back.
Yeah.
No, there's a strategy, and it is I want a certain outcome. But if you don't have a resume, if you don't have the people to vouch for you yet, you don't have the credentials, you have to go get it.
Yeah.
And usually it's working for free or working very, very cheap. But then when you get that opportunity, you have to work like you're making $100,000 a year. You have to put in that hard ass work, not complain, not bitch, and show them that you're worth every penny, even though they're not paying you and they know that.
Right.
But now they're like, dude, I want to keep this person around. They don't complain. They're funny. They're personable. They bring a lot to the table. They brought way more than what they actually sold me on.
Yeah.
They offered this, but they actually brought this.
Yeah.
And now I want them on my team. I want them on my staff.
Yeah.
And I've had to do that many times over the years. These are two examples.
Yeah.
But I've had to do that many times over the years. And I think for me, it's because I've made so many career shifts. I had 1 year when I lived in Buffalo. I had 1 year where I had 16 jobs. I know that sounds ridiculous.
16
jobs in 1 year. In that 1 year, my dad got mad at me. And he was like, dude, what is your deal? And I was like, what? He goes, okay, criticism. You cannot hold the job. He goes, 16 jobs in 1 year? What the hell is wrong with you? He goes, but there is a but here. I want to give you credit because you can go out and get a job.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, listen, I'm not going to waste time doing something I don't like. Yes, 16 jobs in 1 year is a little much. And some of those jobs were overlapped where I'd have two jobs, right?
Yeah.
And
three jobs.
Yeah. But what would happen is I would find out very quickly, like, I don't think telemarketing's for me.
Okay.
I gave it a go. I've been here for 5 weeks. I've given it a go. And it was interesting. I learned how the telemarketing business works. But it's not for me. It's not something I want to personally do.
Right.
So I would respectfully bow out and move on quickly. But then I would quickly literally go knock on doors. I'm not joking. I've tried to tell my daughter, like, go knock, like literally go down our street and go to all the small mom and pop shops and just knock on the door and be like, hi, I'm Riley. I'd love an opportunity to work here. Can I put in an application? Right. And it's all you need to say.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I put in my resume. I go, girl, you don't got a resume.
Yeah.
What do you mean you put in your resume at Target on Target.com? No one knows who the hell you are. You don't have any experience.
Right.
You have a resume that's bullshit. Anyone can see that.
Yeah.
Like, what's your resume? I was on the volleyball team. You know what I mean? Like, you have no work experience. So you need to go knock on the door, go to these smaller mom and pop shops, the ones that everyone forgets because they're going after the bigger jobs.
Okay.
So they forget that there's a whole street with all these little businesses. It could be a business where they just make little plastic washers and they package them and send them across America because they need someone to come in and just help them package.
This is a simple fact that
and you go do that. Realize that's not what you want to do, but one, it's bringing you money. Two, it's something on your resume, right? And it gives you some work ethic and value to what you're doing. And then you take that skill and you move on.
Yeah.
And so I've learned to move and move quickly and talk to people, look them in the eye when you're doing an interview.
Yeah.
And have a good time when you're interviewing. And you might not get the job.
Yeah, you might not.
But go in there and make sure that person can at least walk away and be like, I had a great conversation with this person. They weren't a good fit for our business, but they're going to be good somewhere.
Yeah, I used to tell my son in interviews, I said, go in there, have fun, smile, because they're going to see you again, and it probably won't be in a job setting. It'll be in another setting.
Yeah.
But it could be years from now, and they could be in a field that you may need help with, or They could be doing, it could be with a job or something that maybe you need help with. You never know.
Yeah.
And like, that's why you finish all the way through, you finish strong.
Mm-hmm.
So then, let me just ask you this then. So, what would you say in leading up to that? What moment changed the direction of your life? Was it your aunt buying you that one-way bus ticket? I mean, your best friend's mom buying you that one-way bus ticket? What was it? You say, "Okay, Mom, I'll go down to Houston with you, hang out with you, drive down there with you." Was it here at the hostel and accepting free jobs? Like, no, I'll clean for you. What was that moment, you think, that changed the direction?
I honestly, dude, I think I've had a lot of pivotal changes in my life, but I would say one of the biggest pivotal changes that have really affected and kind of why I am where I am now is when I went to college the first time in Rochester, New York. I went to RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology, for microelectronic engineering.
Uh-huh.
Now, it was a school, it was the only school I applied to in high school. My parents didn't go to college. I don't come from a educated family, cousins and everyone going to college and stuff like that.
You come from a very unprivileged situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
You keep bringing that up.
Yeah.
That's fun. But all my friends in high school were going off to big schools.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was going to do. I applied to a school for a job or for something that looked like it would pay well. It sounded cool. It sounded exciting. Okay. I was good with math.
Yeah.
Sure. So I applied. I had good grades, got in, got some scholarship money, all that. My parents, to cover the difference, my dad laughed. He was like, "We can't afford this. Like, we can't pay for this." And I was like, but
it's college. Don't you want me to go
right?
to college,
Exactly.
Dad?
And my dad, he basically said, "Listen, Chris, like, just go get an honest living. Go find a job at a factory or something. Get a pension. Get married, have kids, have that nice, honest lifestyle."
That's some real shit,
I think honest meant poor. I didn't really know what he was saying to me at that point. But I was like, this is what? I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want to go to school, but I can't afford it. So at this point, we're in seniors in high school. I was like, I'm fucked. I don't know what I'm doing. And that's my buddy's car. He drove this old Thunderbird, and it broke down. And he asked me, "Chris, I know you drive your mom's car to school. Can you drive me to the recruiter's office after school?" And I said, "Sure." And so I drove. Okay. So I was like, I drove him to the Army recruiter's office. And so on that drive, I was like, "Do you want to join the Army?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Why?" He was like, "I don't know. I just don't really got anything better to do." And I was like, neither do I. And so I didn't intend to join. But when we were there, I was listening to the recruiter talk to my buddy. And then he mentioned that you could get free college with the Montgomery GI Bill. And we'll pay for your college and all that. And I was like, well, I can join and then go to college after.
You could, yeah.
So I joined the Army.
Oh, okay. That's the moment.
Yeah. And so, well, that was a moment. But when I got back and then I ended up going to RIT because I was able to defer. And when I finally got to RIT, I was there and realized, like, college is stupid, dude. Like, this is dumb. Like, this is such a waste of money is what it was for me.
Okay, yeah.
Most 18-year-olds have no idea where they want to be. There are kids who are 18 who have a sense of direction.
Right.
And they know that they want to become a heart surgeon.
Right.
And by golly, they go all the way and they become a heart surgeon.
You're far from
10 years later, they're heart surgeons.
Right.
Or at least, working towards that at a hospital. I think I would say probably 70 to 80% of kids at 18 have no idea. We got kids that barely got their dicks wet, dude, right? Come on, dude. Like, you have no idea what life is like outside of your family's house. You don't know what it's like to live alone. You don't know what it's like to have your own dog or your own cat.
Yeah.
You have no idea what life is like. How the hell do you know you want to be anything at all? So college for me was a waste of time. Like, it's like that. I was there and within weeks realized this is stupid. So
yeah, but I think right there, that is a change of direction.
That was I was gonna say, when I was at RIT, that's when my whole mind shift went to, this is what kids are doing.
Yeah.
This is not what I want to do.
Right.
And I made that shift. And now I started going, okay, how do I get out of school? How do I move on past this?
Yeah.
And then so after school, it was, okay, I need a job. I need an apartment.
Did you use anything from college, from that first college experience that's in your data bank now? That's in your tool bag now?
Yeah, move on quickly.
Okay.
And like don't linger on something, and don't waste a bunch of money on something that you know is not for you.
Move on quick. You hear that?
Yeah.
Earthlings, move on quickly. Move on. You're watching Hello Earthlings. This is the first episode. We're here with Chris Kidder. I'm Eric Stinson, your host. And what I'm trying to do here, what I'm trying to extract out of this conversation is there's no one way to do it.
No.
But whatever lessons that you do learn them fast and move on, and be able to apply them to any situation that you have.
100%.
Please continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is probably the biggest thing I learned, was to move on and move on quickly. I ended up going back to school years later. Like I said, during the recession,
Yeah.
I'd already been working in the film industry. I got in the union,
Okay.
started working, but during the recession, 2008, everything came to a halt. Like the film industry slowed down to almost like all the shows I had been working on all got canceled and whatnot.
Yeah, right.
And so I realized, like, maybe this is a good time to go back to school. Like, I want to go and learn something. I had now, at this point, I am, in my late 20s.
Okay.
I had this thirst and hunger for education at this point. Like, I feel like I missed that.
Okay.
And it wasn't I regret it or anything. It was a great choice.
Yeah.
But now the desire was there. It wasn't parents influencing me. Like, a lot of kids are influenced by their parents. Like, oh, you got to go to school. You got to go to school. Why?
Yeah, right.
The fuck you got to go to school for?
It takes
a
lot of maturity.
Go work as a plumber. They make great money.
Yeah.
If it's a money thing, there's a lot of trade jobs that make you money. But at this point, I realized, like, I want to go to school now. I want to go learn more, like, in depth. I want to go into history.
Right.
Like, at this point, like, I hated history as a kid. At this point in my 20s, I realized, like, history is important so that we don't repeat mistakes.
Yeah.
It's good to know history, learn from previous empires, previous world leaders, things that were done, and how do we not repeat those same mistakes. So I had this desire for school all of a sudden. And so I started going back to school at Glendale City College, and I had a 4.0 for 2 years, and this is where the public speaking journey started.
Okay.
So I started the Toastmasters,
Yeah.
and I faced that fear. And this was from a friend of mine who, his therapist, he was afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Horribly.
Really?
That huge phobia of heights.
Yeah,
so
but
his therapist, after a while, said, dude, just jump out of a damn plane. Face your fear head on.
Yeah.
And so he invited me to go jump out of a plane with him. And of course, I always wanted to do that. So I was like, hell yeah, let's go. But what I learned from that moment was, like, I could only afford once, and he had money. So he kept going back so he could get his license. But what I learned from him was, if you're afraid, if you have this fear of something, face it head on and keep facing it head on. Like, just keep going at it, right? And so he kept doing that, and he loved it. And so I took that same approach with public speaking. I was horrified of public speaking. So when I got into GCC, I took every public speaking class, communication class that they offered. I joined the speech and debate team, became the president of the speech and debate team. I joined 3 different clubs and became a leader, like had a leadership position in those clubs. Because when you're in a leadership position, that generally means you got to get up. If there's 10 people in the club or 30 people in the club, you're going to have to get up and speak on, hey, we got this event this Friday. Blah,
so
blah, blah.
You're trying to speak as much as possible.
As much as possible, trying to get up. With Toastmasters, anytime they ask me, hey, Chris, do you got a back pocket speech? Basically a speech that you have like just ready to go at any time. I would get asked to speak, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll absolutely do it. I would try to get up as much as possible. Okay. And then 2 years at GCC, I had a 4.0 GPA, and I ended up getting into USC, their business school at USC. Okay. And I had a great scholarship package. So I essentially walked away with the degree from USC with walking away with 1 year's worth of tuition and financial aid of debt.
That's it.
And I'm like, dude, I did it my way. I did it my way. And I did it on my terms. And I walked away very proud. And what I learned at USC, not just at USC, but going to college, for me, meant taking this big task. And you start, it's a journey, 4-year, 5-year journey.
Mature you.
Yeah, the mature me. Yeah. And I saw it through. And there were a lot of things. So my buddy started this show called Workaholics on Comedy Central. My buddy Kyle Newacek, shout out, bro. So he started this show, and I had already started school. And I started this path, and I talked to my wife about it. I'm going on this path, and I'm going to get my degree. And then while that happened, my buddy Kyle's show got greenlit. Okay. So Workaholics got greenlit, and at this point, I had worked with Kyle for years. He gripped with me on other projects, and
because you're gripping while you're going to college.
Yeah,
100%.
So, but he goes, hey man, we got greenlit. I want you to come key grip this show.
Oh, okay.
And I told him, I was like, I can't, dude. Like that, because it was during school, and to do a big project like that, I would have to just leave school. Completely leave school. And I told him, I said, I can't, dude. I can't. I started school. I started something. I do not want to walk away from it. I want to make sure I see it to the end. And I'm glad I did. And there was a lot of little distractions like that in those 4 years of people and things trying to pull me away.
Because life was regressing for other people as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There was that. We had our daughter, Riley. She was little. So there are all these things going on in life that were trying to distract me and pull me out of school. Right. And I was like, no, I want to get this done. I want to finish school. And what that taught me was starting something and seeing it to the end. We did our project Kidder.
That's right.
That was one of the hardest things I've ever done personally, especially post-production with me editing all that shit. Dude, it was so challenging. Okay, the idea was great. We started writing it. Awesome.
Well, the writing was hard for me.
Yes, the writing was hard. Yeah. But the whole thing was difficult. I'm not taking away from any of that. But we started it, and we started progressing. And the further we got, the more difficult it got. Because, okay, writing is one thing. But now let's involve 20 people, 25 people. Right. And bring them all together on multiple days, and it's chaotic, and we got to shoot this, and we got to shoot this, and we got to shoot this, and getting all that together, getting the money together, getting all the different things, and then at the end, Chris is in his little studio trying to put it all together, and it was insane, and it took me a long-ass time, way longer than
because you're working.
Well, it was work, but also I was sick of the project. So, but what again, the USC thing, going to school, I knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I just needed to put my head down and keep moving forward.
Just keep going.
As Dory would say, keep on swimming, just keep swimming, right? So just keep moving forward.
That's right.
And so some tasks are daunting, dude. Some goals are ridiculous. I was like, 18-year-olds, most 18-year-olds don't know what they're doing or want to do. But if you do have that goal, you have to put your head down and just push everything out and just focus. Just keep being laser focused, and you're going to have the days where you want to quit. The biggest takeaway is just don't. Just keep moving forward, dude. And I'm doing that with stand-up and my other projects that I'm working on right now. Some of them are daunting. I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna put my head down and keep working.
So now, how has the growth of this last endeavor of stand-up? You've been doing it for about 7 years now, 7 years now, right? How have all the lessons that you have learned in that lifetime of yours, how is the application to stand-up, and how is it benefiting you now from all of the tools that you have in your toolbox?
Yeah, that's a great question too, dude. I think one, like I said, putting my head down and just doing the work.
Okay.
Like my goals in stand-up, my goal is not to bag Madison Square Gardens. And I've heard comedians say, "Yeah, I'm going to do Madison Square Gardens one day." That's a great goal.
Yeah, it is.
If that's your goal.
Yeah.
I don't need to be mega superstar Dane Cook, Kevin Hart, Joe Coy level.
Right.
But my goal is doing 1,000 to 2,000 seat theaters.
Okay.
Like that is a goal of mine. And
Yeah.
I have a goal of wanting to shoot my special and getting my special out there, but the right way. I feel like a lot of people, it's so easy to turn on some cameras and film something.
Right.
And I think a lot of comedians have kind of drowned the significance of a special with, there's a lot of specials that have been put out there. Hey, I'll just shoot it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah,
It's
especially people who don't have fan bases and they're doing specials already.
Yeah, I've seen people. I know comedians. I have friends who are comedians who have their specials done, their first specials done, and they put it on YouTube. And I go over to YouTube and look, and it's got 32,000 views, and I'm like, dude, that's horrible. I have little stupid game videos on YouTube that have way more views than your special.
Yeah.
And I'm not, and those jokes take years.
They do take.
They take years to write,
time to craft.
to craft, to massage and get them just right. To get them just right, and then you got to put together an hour special. That's an hour of tight material, and then just to think like I'm gonna put it out there and then move on and go to the next thing. It's like, dude, no, you gotta be ready when that. I think a lot of people, if you stay in this business long enough, the opportunity will arise. The door will be there. You got to be ready to walk through it.
Yeah.
And just throwing your shit out there into the wind, hoping that someone's going to watch it.
Do you think the concept of reason is missing from a lot of people's palate as far as comedians trying to, run before they can crawl?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think with social media, everyone wants that big mansion, and everyone wants it.
They want it now.
Yeah,
right?
It's the dopamine hits, dude. Like they think like I'm going to tell jokes for 2 years and be some mega superstar, and it's like, dude, like most of these comedians that become huge superstars in their 20s started writing jokes when they were 8.
Yeah.
We all knew that class clown at 8, 9, 10 years old, and some of them developed to become true comedians. Yeah. But they've been writing jokes their whole childhood. And so they become superstars in their 20s.
And working clean.
That's another thing, too. Working
that's
clean.
That's a big deal.
So that's one thing I do. I do have dirty jokes, but most
they're clean, dirty jokes.
I have clean, dirty jokks, but I don't swear. And if I do swear, it's with intention.
Yeah.
But I don't just get up and F this, F that, da, da, da. I don't, when I get up, I'm trying to do it as though, what if someone's kid walks into the room?
Yeah, right.
What I want my kid to hear that joke.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
But dude, like, putting your head down, doing the work, fail quickly, fail forward, like move forward when you
fail quickly.
Yeah, we learned this at USC. The entrepreneurship program was fail quickly, fail forward.
Yeah.
Right? So fail, learn from your mistakes, move forward, put it behind you, don't look back, just keep going. And so I could take a lot of those things and apply them to my relationships with my wife, my kids, friends. Like I'm not gonna linger on a bad relationship, or a relationship falling out or anything like that. Just move on quickly, dude.
That's what's up. Yeah. Okay, so last question.
Yes, sir.
What advice would you not give?
What advice would I not give? I would say I did this for a minute. Don't chase money.
Yeah. Yeah. Right?
Like, if you want to know what advice would I not give?
Would you not give?
Well, that's advice.
Yeah, that is advice.
I was going to say that's advice. Advice, kids, don't chase money because that's horrible.
Yeah.
What advice would I not give?
Like having money being the center of it. Because I had to learn that. Like, it's not about money, it's about people.
What advice would I not give? Yeah.
But someone didn't tell me that earlier.
Yeah.
Everyone
if you
told
would say
me to get that money.
advice I would not give you. I wouldn't. I would not advise you to chase money. That's the opposite of what I was saying. But yeah, my advice that I would not give is to go chase money. Hey, kids, chase money because that will get you somewhere. That's the advice I would not give.
Okay. All right, there it is.
Yeah.
And on that note,
because some people will tell you that to go chase money and you want to be a millionaire, chase
get the bag, get the bag.
Dude, that's a quick way to
bag
chasers. That's a quick way to a life of depression and a life without meaning and a life without relationships and a life without any substance at all.
So you're more of a relationship person instead of a money person.
And you could I'm a money person too. Don't get me wrong, bro.
Yeah. But I'm just saying you're more of a relationship
But that
person.
shouldn't be your reason.
Yeah,
I'm going to go be a comedian because I'm going to be rich.
Yeah.
I'm going to go sell real estate so I could be a multimillionaire. I'm going to go be an actor because I want the mansion.
Yeah.
I'm going to go be a CEO of a blah, blah company because I want the power and I want the money. That's a horrible reason, dude.
And on that note, I think we got the point, my friend.
That's right.
That's what's up.
Freaking Earthlings.
Hey, well, man, you know what? Thank you for being on the first podcast. You guys are tuned in to the first pod of Hello Earthlings. Of course, thank to my first guest, Chris Kidder, a good friend of mine. Loved having him on.
I love you, bro.
And thank you, man. And I'm Eric Stinson. Stay tuned for the next episode. Peace.